What if I was to tell you that Diddy was thinking about becoming an anti-domestic violence advocate? Hey, 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 just saying, what if? Remember, we here, and I think we might be the only channel, might possibly be the only channel on YouTube or anywhere that is actually wishing, hoping for a changed Diddy. Maybe people don't want that. Maybe they just want to see the man burn. That's what they want. They think the best option for him is destruction from the get go. And I understand there are tons of people that are like that. I can think of a few that have been given opportunity and never changed. Those people, I have no problem you calling for them to be burning, and I get that. But seeing as how this is the first time he's really actually encountered justice, whether it was seen through or not, can it be beyond the realm of reality that we would love to see Diddy change? Like, say he did throughout all this get confronted with his freedom being absolutely revoked from him. And that fear made a triggering, sobering reminder to him that, yo, is that life really worth it, buddy? So, Breakfast Club are going to cover this idea that Diddy wants to be a anti-domestic violence guy after he gets out of prison. I want to hear what their take is on it. I'm gonna make a prediction. They're probably gonna laugh at it, but I could be wrong. Let's find out.
I reached for my lip gloss. Good morning,
Lauren
Charlamagne.
just reached for a drink that wasn't even there.
That is not
God
good. I
damn.
reached for my
Alcoholism
lip
is
gloss.
real.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Envy. I miss y'all.
What's up, Lauren?
Miss you too.
Miss you.
You didn't miss me. I wasn't in studio all last week.
You're here.
Thank God.
I feel the energy. You're here. Okay, so yes.
And whether or not people caught that was a really good burn. Ain't nobody miss you, Charlotte. Dude trying to be relevant and everybody is saying, nobody missed you. In fact, you can be absent. We'll know you're around. You can be gone. It's all good. See, I didn't have to do it.
This morning, starting off in the latest, we're going to have a conversation about Diddy because his attorneys are continuing to have conversations. And what we found out over the weekend was that Diddy wants to become an anti-domestic violence advocate.
Well, if you don't sit his stupid ass down somewhere.
I was right. I was right. So let me get this right. Oh wait, you know who else they had the same view about was Michael Vick. I remember now. When Michael Vick got convicted for dogfighting, do y'all remember when he came back out and he was starting to work with a bunch of these dog training and learning how to work himself into educating folks about the dogfighting arena? Remember that? And everybody clowned him about it. Remember that? And they started dogging him about his football career and everything. And all he did was just go out and prove them wrong. I love that part. Ironically, it's the same thing with Diddy. So you're trying to tell me, hear me out. I want to make sure I get this right. Somebody who was guilty of a crime, at least accused of domestic violence, goes to prison, realizes in prison, whether he was there for a long time or short time, that, yo, this is too much. When I get out, I'm going to be the voice of the reasoning side of this so that nobody goes through what I'm going through and they can no longer have this happening in real life. If that person comes out and says that he needs to sit down in a corner somewhere and shut up because you don't know what you're talking about, I would think he knows exactly what he's talking about because he was the perpetrator. That's like when people come out and they were a predator on kids and they come out and start working with the authorities to tell the authorities how a perpetrator would act. He should sit down somewhere too. He should shut up. Anybody that does a crime and comes out to work to combat that crime needs to shut up, huh? That's how intelligent that conversation would be with people. No, you've been through it, so you need to shut up and go sit down in a corner, loser. But I'm trying to help build what I destroyed. I don't. Again, hate will make you do a bunch of silly stuff.
Sounds so dumb.
Boy, his whole team, Bad Boy, not Bad Boy. What's his team called? His lawyers, his staff, record label, and mother effing crew
You
are
called
retarded.
him bad boy.
Okay.
Well,
It don't even make sense. I don't even know. Like
No.
after you just keep messing up, you just keep doing stupid stuff. And
No,
keep doing
defend them,
stupid
Envy.
stuff.
Well-
Ride for him.
well,
Defend him
He
like
definitely
you
do be getting, yo, he be giving it up for Diddy, yo.
Should I say it? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. These are the same people that would ride with people like Suge. Same people that will ride with people like Snoop. They're the same people that will ride with rappers that will go to jail, come back out, rap about the same crap, and go back to jail again. That's how they make their money. The exploitation of black people when they do something stupid. Come back out, do something stupid again. That's their bread and butter. See it? Meanwhile, isn't this the same crew that was doing that housing scam? Did I get that right? Are you all the same people, Breakfast Club, that had the whole housing scam, DJ? Wasn't that you? But you can come back and do something different, right? Huh. Maybe people shouldn't listen to you about anything because you're a scam artist, right? You rob people. You're a thief. Isn't that what you are? Don't you do dumb stuff all the time? Isn't that what y'all do all the time on the Breakfast Club? Y'all defend people doing all kinds of crazy stuff. When they go back and do it again, that's even better. But people who don't want to do it again and educate people not to do it again, they should sit down. Interesting indeed. Wow.
I don't be giving up for nobody, first of all. And second of all, they just dumb.
Well, listen. So what Alexandria Shapiro, who's the attorney that spoke to Business Insider, is saying is that in the future, Diddy wants to work with domestic violence programs. He says that he wants to talk to like other, people who are committing these acts and children and just, different people to basically say, hey, here's what happened to me. Here's what I went through. I don't want y'all to do the same things, make the same wrongs that I did. Basically trying to help people before they get to that point.
Yeah, in the future, after you've done the work, I have no problem with that. But right now, you need to be a student in those classes, not a teacher.
Who are you to decide that? Who are you to decide that? How do you know how much a man grows? I don't get people like this, bro. I really don't understand people like this. There are some people that go through things and within a day, the lesson is learned. There are some people that go through things and before they die, they might learn the lesson. And you have no idea which one's which until the lesson is learned. Now you get to decide how long it'll take him, and it's by your discretion. So everybody must revolve around Charlamagne, the lowercase God, right? Everybody must revolve around his time frame. Listen, people, listen. Just because you think you've changed, you got to call up Charlamagne to make sure you've changed in time. Until he says it's okay, y'all ain't changed. How long did you give DJ to get over the housing scam that you helped promote? Tell me how long it took you. How long has it taken you to not exploit black people for money? How long has it taken you? You got an answer for that, DJ? You got an answer for that, Charlamagne? Huh? No, you don't, huh? Because it doesn't apply to you. You different. It never applies to y'all.
You just lied about this last year. Literally. Remember when Kathy first made the accusations and he said it wasn't true? Then the video came out and he had to put his video out apologizing.
Yes.
He just lied about this last year.
Last year. A year isn't long enough, but then more years, that will be different.
Well, speaking of Cassie, her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, he spoke to Rolling Stone in response to the story, and he called this utterly preposterous. He says, at this point, or or other people in the article, they have sources, they don't name them, but these are alleged victims of Diddy's that are saying that it's manipulation. It's manipulation because he hasn't even fully done the work yet. So to try and, create this narrative that you want to go and help people do things that you haven't figured out for yourself yet, it's manipulation and it's disrespectful. And it's almost like I was going to say a slap in the face to the victims, but
again, how do you all know? Okay, let me ask you. What metric you're using to measure this? Remember, he's been sequestered for the last year. He's had no interaction with these so-called victims. He's had no interaction with anybody for this year. So how do you know, again, no interaction, that he has not done the work? How do you know that solitary confinement in prison hasn't done a number on it? How do you know that? I want to know how y'all know that.
Absolutely.
Well, the judge realizes this is a PR stunt and not genuine rehabilitation. So when the judge doesn't, give him leniency at his sentencing, it's going to be stuff like this. That's the reason why.
So, but what if he does give him leniency? What you gonna say then? You see how y'all say don't say it. Y'all say some interesting things. Y'all always know what the judge gonna do. Like, I've never seen people. So what's that lady, the tarot reader lady, the Jamaican crystal ball woman? How are y'all always like this? Through the whole Diddy case, y'all know exactly what the judge gonna do. Y'all know exactly what's gonna happen with the jury. And when it don't happen, then y'all get mad at the judge and the jury. Oh, he's not gonna listen to that. I don't know. How you know that? First, y'all want to side of the jury. Now y'all cussing out the jury, calling them all kinds of names and what's that and this and the other. You're going to do the same with the judge if he does give him leniency? Suppose he said, all right, Diddy, you know what? Based on the chart, you served your time, bro. I'll give you another 6 months in here and you're free to go. Y'all going to get mad at that too. What is wrong with this judge? I can't believe this judge with the judge. That's what you're going to do. Then, if Diddy get out, and Diddy does do a program where he's helping domestic violence victims and the people that perpetrate the crime, and there's actually success, and then you're going to get mad at that too. What a grift. Because y'all going to wish for the demise. Now, here's the bigger problem. They are hoping, hear me out, that Diddy does not change and that a program to help domestic abuse victims and perpetrators does not come to fruition. You see what hate can do? Hate makes these people not want to see another person help someone out of a bad situation. That's how much they hate this guy. They don't care that domestic violence continues. We just don't want his help. My goodness.
Yeah, well, his team, so Alexandria actually said that they plan to have this conversation about what Diddy plans to do in the future with becoming an advocate, anti-domestic violence advocate in sentencing documents. So they do plan to present this to the judge and make this a part of the conversation they have in an October 3rd sentencing to see if it'll help, because they're trying to go for time served. They feel like he's going to be a little bit over a year at the time of sentencing. He should get time served and be able to come home on home confinement and basically do like a split sentencing thing where he finishes the rest of the time from home.
It makes no sense.
What makes no sense?
Why did it make no sense? Y'all, again, here comes a law expert. Let's see what they say.
You have so many great attorneys, right? That they're supposed to be high-priced attorneys working on this case, and the fact that they keep making this mistake after the trial, and everybody else sees that it's wrong, and they can't. That doesn't.
This could be coming from their client though. Their client could be pushing for this. Diddy. That's the problem.
It's so weird.
Again, you ain't told me how it ain't gonna happen. People don't hate to this level. Look, there are tons of evil people in this world. We get it. Heck, George Soros exists. Okay, we get it. Okay, we do. We understand that there are tons of like absolutely deplorable people out there. But what if tomorrow Bill Gates gets up and he comes to the microphone one day and he says, I've been sitting in the corner thinking about my life. And I want to expose all the things I was doing with vaccinations. And I want to expose all the things I had when I talked about ending the amount of people on this earth. I was wrong. We don't need less people on earth. And I was going about this the wrong way. And as of today, I am no longer part of the Bill Gates Foundation. In fact, I'm withdrawing all of that. All of my money will now be going to some other research. I am no longer participating in anything to do with this agenda. You know what people are going to say? He lying. What does he have up his sleeve? What is going on? Is that a clone? No, what they gonna come out the good. Instead of thinking, wait a minute, if this is true, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? And then you see in the news next couple of days, sure enough, he goes through with it. You know, the haters are gonna say, it's all a ploy. He's playing 17D chess. He knows what he's trying to do in order to get people to believe him. Then he's gonna come right back and flabbity flabbity blue. Change can happen. Change can happen. But these people are absolutely against somebody changing. We want Diddy to change. I would love to see Diddy change his whole, everything. Just change. A complete 90, not 180, 90, different path altogether. Gets on stage, denounces the life he used to live, cusses himself out for the stuff he used to do, advise people never to do that again, tries to do whatever he can to make amends for the things he's done. They don't want that. That'd be bribing people.
Weird.
Yeah, I just think the timing is so bad. It doesn't.
Sense would tell you like, yo, this ain't it. Don't move like this.
Why? How do y'all get the right to say that? Like, I don't get it. Man alive.
Yeah, when you're facing 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, which carry 20 years, you got to show remorse. You got to show accountability.
What do you think is? What in the blue blazes? No, I didn't hear that. You got to show remorse and you got to show accountability. So let me get this right. Trying to tell people that what I did was wrong is not remorse, and trying to help people to do better is not accountability. What the ever living crap is going on? Y'all can't be real. Y'all can't be real. Nah, okay. It's official. The Breakfast Club ain't real people. This is AI. This is AI, like low functioning AI. This ain't real. This can't be real. Nope. Not real at all. Ain't no way this can be real.
Well, and
I
other
said he was going to be a Trump supporter.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly where I was going next, because his this is his attorney / not attorney. We'll get into why I said that. But Mark Geros, who's a really well-known, prominent attorney, has a podcast with TMZ called Two Angry Men, where him and Harvey discuss legal things. And they were talking about this case and the Trump pardon. And this is what Mark Geros had to say.
Would Diddy pledge allegiance to Donald Trump in return for a pardon?
I think yes. I think, having done this for 40 some odd years, what happens to people when they go through a criminal case? I've watched it. I can't remember the last time that a client didn't say to me after a criminal case, how do you do this for a living? They made a caricature of me. The prosecutors have. There's something about that fraternity of people who have been accused and have gone through the process that gives you an affinity. It would not surprise me to hear Sean say, I now get it. I understand it. And I was wrong then. And I don't know that I would say he's pledging loyalty, but I think he would probably say, I now get what he went through.
Remember when Charlamagne got called out for a certain kind of activity? And all of a sudden the behavior changed. I like when that happened. Accountability and all.
Well, that guy did say that's what he thinks. That's not coming from Diddy. That's his opinion.
Yes, but I think
I
that's
see it happening though.
big
I see it happening,
statement
though.
to make. And also Harvey pressed him because you remember they came out and said, oh, we were talking about a pardon, and they said no, someone in his orbit. I was told that there are conversations happening, and then they backed away from it. Harvey also pressed Mark Geragos on this because Mark Geragos is Teeny Geragos' dad, so the lead prosecutor in Diddy's case. This is her father that is saying this, and there's been conversations about whether he counseled the defense in Diddy's situation. So for him to even say that, he knows what that can imply. He would say no if it's completely off the table. Let's take a listen to the second clip.
You know what I love seeing? I love seeing in real time reality set in. Here's the reality. The reality is that these people on the panel have no clue what the judge is going to do, but they're hoping. And they're really hoping to the point where they are going to be really livid if Diddy does get time served and is allowed to serve out part of his sentencing in the House. They'll be uber mad at that. And then they're going to start pushing propaganda as to why. He bought the judge. He bought this. He bought the other. And they'll continue to do this for as long as Diddy lives. Diddy will be able to do everything that he wants to, and they will never, ever, ever be able to make these people happy. Diddy could go to a different church other than TD Jakes. I would suggest Diddy don't go there no more. That's bad for you. He could find God in the realest way. He could go and try and set up a whole organization with all the money he makes from a Madison Square Garden event and set it towards domestic violence programs. He could go out and do everything in his power to try and make all his victims go through counseling and him pay for it. He could do all that. He'd still be hated because hate is real.
Would I be jumping to conclusions to think that there wasn't a discussion about how Diddy would speak of the president in return for a pardon?
Well, I don't know that there's ever been that discussion. I can't go that far, but I would
really?
That,
for those of you listening, Mark just smiled.
I just think there's a naive aspect to the idea that you wouldn't understand or have an affinity for somebody else who's been through the system. The system chews you up.
Do I take that as I wouldn't be jumping to a conclusion?
I just don't think I would make it as quid pro quo that you've got to say something. I think there's an honest affinity for anybody who goes through the process with anybody else who's gone through it.
It makes sense, wouldn't it? You know what? The president himself said, hey, if he thinks that he's been treated unfairly, he would do something because you know, I know about being treated unfairly. They've done me very wrong. I'm probably the most unfair thing ever is me. So I know. So if I find that they've been doing him unfair, I might step in. I might do it bigly. I might do it small. You never know. But Diddy's been on the inside now. He has been where he has become the one person that nobody want to be. So did Trump. Could he get a pardon because of that? I don't know. Is it off the table? No. Man, look out. Look, listen. As much as these people might hate all that stuff, they cannot deny reality is still out there. And that's what's really pissing them off, is that there's still options for them.
Why do they do that? Like, why not just say what you're saying? Because
he is saying what he's saying. He said he doesn't know. You want more information. He just says he wouldn't go that far. How is that not an answer? You want him to say Trump is definitely going to give him a pardon, and we are on board for 100% pardon for Trump, and I have the documents. That's what you want. He says he doesn't know. You know, Corey and I are about questions and answers. The man answered the question, just not the way you wanted it.
What you're saying is, yeah, that probably will happen, but you can't blame him if it does, because that's what now he relates to Trump or whatever.
Yes. Y'all lied on the man. Y'all literally lied on this dude. Like full-chested lied. Y'all presented people with information that was never brought to the court. Y'all never talked about it. It hasn't, to this day, hasn't been addressed. Y'all lied. Y'all brought false allegations to the, what are you expecting them? Bro.
Yeah, I personally believe Diddy cares too much about his image to do that. I could be wrong, but I just don't see him going from saying things like white men like Trump need to be banished to Harlem shaking for Trump with a MAGA hat on.
You've done worse. You've done worse. The whole Breakfast Club will chuck and jive. That's what y'all will do for money. What are you talking about? Y'all are notorious for that. What are you talking about? If it's somebody you like, you will act like an absolute puppy dog in their presence. Man, don't play this game, bro. Y'all want to go back into your history to actually do it? Y'all want to do this? Do y'all need an exposure video too? Y'all will change your tune to fit whatever pays you best. Stop the cap. Stop it, Charlamagne. Just stop. You bleached because you didn't got liked when you were darker. Stop. You are the #1 poster child for changing based on what people think about you. Just stop. But it's different when you do it, right? It's totally different when you do it.
I don't think he's gonna Harlem shake, of course, but I see where it will come in. I mean, you see some of your favorite celebrities who you would never expect to ride with Trump that has done things for Trump, and Trump is pardoned them or their family members. So I do see it possibly happen if they give him a long sentence over than time served. Yeah, I definitely can see.
Well, if you're gonna sell your ass for freedom like that, you might as well stay in prison and give up the ass for free.
Wow. So being grateful to somebody for pardoning you because you went through what they went through, that's called, well, bro.
It's more integrity in that than coming out and being a MAGA puppet. Okay, if a man is gonna have his hand up your ass controlling you, at least let it be fun.
You sat there and let Joe Biden talk to you like he was a slave dog. You want to talk about where hands went? Let's talk about where hands went, Charlamagne. You sat there and let a whole man talk to you like you were on a plantation. And you said nothing back to him. Why? Oh, I forgot the hands where the hand was. Again, always with the shoe on the other foot is different. The man literally called you the N-word without calling you the N-word, and you giggled and sniggled and laughed about it. What? Do y'all not know the internet is forever? Did you not know that the internet exists so we can go back and look at you being that way for everybody on a certain party? And Diddy ain't even talking about switching allegiance for how he votes. He's just talking about being a supporter of the guy that got him out of prison. What is wrong with y'all? The other guy talked to you, down to you, and never put nothing in front of you to get. Nothing. So you did that one. You did it for free. Diddy's doing it for a cost. He's getting free. What are you getting? Y'all are, look, bro. Y'all are some real interesting cats, bro. Real interesting cats. Wow.
What?
How is it ever going to be fun if somebody got their hand up your
You
ass?
should never say that while putting that lip gloss on like that, girl. Why are you doing all that?
She called it right, girl. I'm with you, lady. I'm with you. Do it, lady. Do it, lady. On your birthday. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I'm glad she said it. I wouldn't have to say it. Now I can repeat it though. I agree with you. That is sus behavior. But it is Charlamagne, so.
Then he be sticking his finger way back to reach his tonsil when he do that like that. Mouth dry as hell.
All right. Well, that is the latest with Lauren. Thank you.
The fact is now, listen to me. They are laughing. And this is just like all the rest of them who exploit black culture and black people. They're laughing at the possibility of a black man getting out of prison and possibly changing his life. They wouldn't laugh at a thug that would be getting out of prison and does the same crime again. In fact, they talk highly of him. because he's about that life. He doesn't mind if he gets shot in the street. They don't mind if he goes to prison multiple times. As long as he come back and continues to stereotype, they make money and they're happy. One decides to break the stereotype, can't afford that because we got to keep that man on our plantation so he does what we want. They keep exposing themselves, and we out here making sure that y'all see it too. You want to know why certain members of society aren't availably loud right now, especially people of a certain group that has three of the same letters? You know why they're not so active? They don't need to be. They got the Breakfast Club. They don't need to do. They don't have to do anything. They have these people. They got Umar Johnson. They got Roland Martin. They got tons of people doing their work. They don't need to do nothing. They're pretty much outsourcing all the work to people that look like the ones they hate. They're fine with that. Yeah. Well, here's hoping that Diddy does indeed start this anti-domestic violence group. Here's hoping that it does be very successful. Here's hoping that it changes scores of lives. Here's hoping that Diddy's change is a permanent one and a popular one. Here's hoping for Diddy to be no longer known as Puff, but to be known as Sean Combs going forward. That's what we hope for. And I hope that generations going forward will be able to look back at his turning point and say, if he could do it, I could do it. I do hope his change is genuine. I do. Time will tell, but I'm rooting for his change. I'm not rooting for him not to change. I'm rooting it for it to be real, not for it to be fake. And I'm rooting it to be successful, not to fail. But y'all might think differently, so let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Pot calling kettle black in this video is crazy work, but hey, that's what it does all the time. I look forward to it. And we'll see how many people agree and disagree. Maybe we can have a robust conversation about it, and then we'll see what the future holds for Mr. Sean Combs.